I really don't never know how to start these intros anymore. It's not really a title to this to this video. These are like my gumbo videos, what I like to call it. Um, I got the arc, well, Ankh, really. I don't know why I call it arc, but it's an Ankh. I finally got one. So yeah, uh, this is, I guess, me breaking the matrix again, trying to. I mean, subconsciously and unconsciously and consciously, we're already breaking the matrix more than we know when we shift one perspective of reality. And I learned a lot on this journey about myself, especially with the people I am encountering and getting reconnected with um, people from the past, meaning this past and past life as well. So it's like we're traveling in some weird, like weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's you're traveling in a dream, but you're wide awake in reality of the dream. But like, who subconscious are you traveling from? It's your own subconscious. You could say this is your ancestors. They have something to do with it. Yes, they do. But like, when you start to wake up from the dream, then it becomes reality. You can put anything that your mind is capable of doing because that's what God or the God within you, the God is. God said there are many gods within and there are gods outside of him. So he knows that he or she knows that there are multiple versions of themselves in different dimensions because no being doesn't know its own law when it creates something good and when it creates something bad. So I've been having like heavy downloads lately. I've been trying to ignore them, but it's like I can't do what I used to do. I can't ignore them no more. So it's like I either gotta start coming up here, so it's gonna be a little bit more different when I'm getting my place. So stay tuned in for some more gumbo videos because these are just random as downloads. I'm pretty sure everybody is getting them. Everybody's timeline is shifting because everybody is healing from their past. Like their past is no longer giving them the ability of it taking over them emotionally because some emotions that we are experiencing now, it's new. It's not new, it's just evolved in a different level of within our consciousness, a different level of dimension within our consciousness. So it's like, okay, we are revamping ourselves. We are in the rebirth of who we thought we knew our ego and who we thought we knew our spirit. But spirit and ego is not fighting anymore necessarily. There's no longer in between of good and bad. You're in the knowing of thyself. You are your higher self. You are your highest frequency. And everybody can see that you are in your highest frequency. But not every body, not every spirit is going to um, be there for you during this time of your evolution because by the grace of universe, the universe is going to show you exactly that you need to see and know and point you in the right direction because you might be blinded by one reality because you're only focusing on one particular timeline. Why not focus on all timelines and all possibilities of your ability to imagine? Because how did we get here? We got here through somebody's imagination, basically through somebody else's subconscious. It takes two to tangle. It takes like a man and a woman to create a child. They have to both imagine or feel what this child is going to turn out to be. Most gods and goddesses, when they create children from the ether, these beings, these souls, these new souls, are star children. We are the star children of each generation. It's many names and many different meanings for them, but you can say they all kind of mean the same because even though we all come from a different dimension and we're all here subconsciously in this realm, imagining ourselves existing in one's reality, that shows that this is a holographic television into our own other dimension where we're originally from. So don't be so attached to the earth realm because earth will be something that you will have to constantly come back to from something that you have not ascended or, sometimes you need to descend, sometimes you need to ascend. And yes, that is possible. And it's possible to be dual, like a dual person. You can have an opinion about being one way or becoming one way, but it's about how this duality consciousness of yours express itself like I don't know. It depends if you're not looking any perspective from others of your own duality of your own consciousness, if you're okay with the information and the things you're receiving, just ask the spirit who is communicating to you. Because there are a lot of jinns, and then there are a lot of like darker entities trying to infiltrate, dropping seeds within your knowledge that are not the most healthiest for your vibration, because not all knowledge is good and not all wisdom can apply to knowledge. And sometimes we think going the shortcut of the path will be better, but really you need to take the long road. You need to walk on, that that path that nobody else can accomplish. Nobody else can't do it better. Or it's not about being better. That's still being portrayed as like the ego. So the ego is going to make you feel like you need to be better or to do better or outsmart oneself. But really, you just have to be you in all paths of you. Because, like, in each path, there are different versions of you looking at you differently from a different realm, from a different higher point of view or lower point of view. Sometimes your lower self is looking at your higher self as its lower self, or your higher self is looking at its lower self as the most powerful thing on this planet that could exist. Because in actuality, your pain is the foundation of you owning or existing within one's power. Mm, um, yeah. So when you understand the power of one's energy, you know how you can bend the matrix in your own will. You can talk to the matrix. The matrix is always talking to you. The If the matrix is talking to you, it's mostly other spirits within the matrix talking to you. There are spirits who are alive that can talk to you, and there are spirits who are dead who can talk to you. And then the afterlife, what it is it's the thing is, since I'm in New York, I'm seeing part of what I've seen in my afterlife when I had my near-death experience. It's like I've been to the tunnel where, okay, here's the story. there is this tunnel that you go to in the afterlife. And as of lately, recently, past eons of, well, not eons, but like past couple of decades, it's been swooping up souls. It's been more than usual. Think of it as on either the Vampire Diaries had this on their episode, or the Legacy had their episode, had this on the episode, where one of the two they went to some the other side trying to find hope, and or she trying to find her boyfriend or whatever, and they was on the other side, and they couldn't get back to their original realm, the original Earth. And for some reason, in the background, the source, what you would call it, another version of you from a different time, the original time, the pinpoint of time of you, started to swoop up souls, like being like, imagine a tunnel, right? There's no trains. Nothing is in motion. Everything is black and white. Everything is gray. Everything is dull. So that's where we get duality consciousness. Most of us, I remember hearing a voice coming out from source from that particular time when I experienced it. So now when I go back into the vision, into the memory again, the source starts to speak up against itself, like talking back to me, coming into my vision without me saying you can come in, because certain visions have to be invited in, just like some of us, we have to be invited in into certain people or certain spirit timeline, because not all gods and goddesses will accept you once they first meet you, because it's not just you meeting you from a different timeline, or you meeting another ancestor from a different timeline, or you meeting a god from another timeline. It's like they have to understand how one's will work. If you're willing to bend your will to gain back access to who you used to be. And some wills can be fixed and some wills can't. Not everybody's will is fully healed or in satisfaction, because we're dealing with the law that is called the law of cosmic, like the law of karma. So we're dealing with not only our own karma, our ancestor karma, and the things that we built with over time that we have to like completely flush out. So this is what this source thing, this darkness and this tunnel that was like doing. It was sweeping up everybody. Like some was getting eating alive. Like there was no coming back. There was no other side for them. Some of us was able to explore the other side and able to come back. Some of us was able to come back with the knowledge. Some of us, it took a long time to revamp our knowledge, to gain back our knowledge, because we don't know how long we were in that world, in that realm, because it might have been 3 minutes in the matrix, but it could have been like 7 or 6 years in that matrix. And time works differently in the tunnel than it does in reality, because there's no motion in the tunnel. The tunnel is just think of what a tunnel does. It transports something to and from different worlds. While we have the tunnels dark, because what are they doing? They're transmuting all of these souls that are alive now with the dead, communicating with the dead. And some are able to live among the dead and see the dead. So I've been channeling my gift lately, because it's it surprises me when I'm fully comfortable with it. And a lot of times I'm not fully comfortable with it. And a lot of times I'm okay with it. I'm brave enough to, you know, share. But like there are people who are against it. And I shouldn't really give a fuck about their approval. You know what I mean? And I can say the same for you. Don't limit your ability just because somebody thinks you're weird. They're weird because they don't get the program. Like, get the program, my nigga. Like, be in or be on or be out because those are the only options you have when it happens, when it's your time. We don't really have much choice because think about it. Angels and demons, they didn't have much choice of who they want to become, but they have a choice to either adapt of who they are becoming by learning what's one's will. And how they learn about one's will is not by giving up. When you give up something, you're asking to, it's not about receiving anything. You can't give up soul. It's impossible to sell your soul. It's impossible to do that shit. Nobody owns your soul. The Illuminati, they cannot own anybody's soul. That shit is dumb for them to think that. And the Illuminati is not what you think it is. They're hiding the truth of who they truly are. They're just like workers, just like you and me, but they just have more higher power than what we are capable of doing in this realm. They just know more terms, or they can. Everybody has a gift. Let's just put it that way. Everybody has the gift and have the same gift, but each group, each member has a different type of gift within the ability to see things. But then they want to turn around and split us up into atoms and partums, like different realities and the realities that we're supposed to be in, to see how we're able to adapt or to escape certain situations by using our ability. Some of them, they can't. Some of them, they gotta use us to get through certain situations, like harvesting our energy. And it happens all the time. Celebrities do this all the time, and believe it or not. So anyway, back to the tunnel. So this tunnel used to scare me a lot, and I used to see it before I had like passed away, you know, near death experience. So when I was a little girl, I was about like maybe 3 years old, and I seen this tunnel before, and I might have saw it like when I was even younger, like probably like one, probably like barely walking. I'll always have this dream about this tunnel, and each dream would be different. Each vision would be different because this tunnel, whatever was on the other side of the tunnel, will always constantly talk to me. And I can, sometimes it will be like different voices, not from people that already existed, but people I haven't met yet, people I haven't come across yet. And it's like I can see them trying to reach out in their hand, but we don't have bodies. We're not in bodies. We're in proton. We're, some of us are. But when I was a little girl seeing this, I remember I was the only one able to move out of the spot because everybody else was stuck moving into one direction. And I was not willing to go through that tunnel. And I remember as a child being in that tunnel, I was crying. And I was like, I remember the source saying, don't be afraid, don't fear, learn to adapt because you won't, the more you learn to adapt, the more you are capable of handling what's going to happen on earth, the more you're able to accomplish. So that's when my inner child started to imagine itself in multiple different types of realities, like creating endless impossibilities of different realities. And I was like, wow. Like, I had to think about it. Like, who was really teaching me this thing? It was the black source, that the black darkness that was like souping like other people up. But then there was others started to pay attention, started to notice. And you can say this place is kind of like purgatory or just a portal to in between both worlds. And from what I can remember, I can specifically, like, these beings start to form faces that I am seeing now within this reality at this particular point in time. There's no coincidence why I'm meeting the people that I'm meeting now in this lifetime. Why certain things are happening now for a door or a gateway for me to enter into, because it's like being a vampire. I can't just imagine. I can, but it's totally up to the other person to invite me in, let me in. So it's like, all right, it took a long time for YouTube to like let me in. It's still taking a fucking ass long time for YouTube to let me in, because we all go through our trials and tribulations. This is what we are here to do. We are manifestors. We are creators. We are here to create. This is all we can do, is continuously creating. We're not supposed to be stuck in a loop. We're not supposed to be stuck doing the same shit every fucking day. That's the fucking matrix programming us to do the same shit every day. Wake up, take a shit. Go to sleep, take a shit. Well, not going to sleep. Well, before you go to sleep, take a shit. And then in between moments when your body can't reciprocate and respond, it wants to go take a shit so it could remember itself consciously coming back to this realm, because something comes in and something comes out. It's just like having a newborn child, or like, some shit like that. I don't know. But then this tunnel start to create itself, imagine itself in other people's worlds, in other people's mind. Maybe the people in the tunnel that I was with during that time. Because it was a long line. It was like going all the way back to the end of the tunnel, and you can barely see anybody going forward because there was no light at the end of the tunnel. We were the light for the tunnel. So it was amazing, but also scary at the same time, because like I can feel my sixth senses. Hi, welcome on in, Bruce. My sixth senses start to like kick in. Yes, long time no see. How are you? My sixth senses start to kick in and stuff, right? Like I can smell almost. It was like a weird smell, like sulfur or something like that. It was just like a foul odor. So tell me why this tunnel start to visualize itself outside of itself, meaning whatever was outside came inside of the tunnel. So we was always in different realms. It was like, that's why I did that video about that little short video about leaving the porch, but we never left the porch. We just imagined ourselves being out of the porch. It's kind of like the same thing when I realized I don't think I never left the tunnel. And I can hear myself echoing. I can hear my spirit still being echoing, being like, hello, are you going to get me out? But soul knows it has a purpose of being there because we're not being there on purpose at all. We're actually, since sorry, okay, we're back. All right. So we're consciously aware that we are in the tunnel. Like me, my inner child, my other, you know, there's no other. That's just that. But we're helping these individuals because, source, God, whoever, goddess, God, yourself from a different time, gather tools for you to use to help these individuals to get out of the tunnel. So it took me a while to realize how to use the tool, how to actually be the shaman or light worker for these individuals because we had to, what it is, when I was there, I had to look into their minds. I grabbed my hands and I dug into their like heads, like both hands. And I was able to see like their past, present, and future and beyond space and time. And I could see things that they wasn't able to accomplish or able to like, revive from. And I gave them, and I just dropped seeds in their minds. Literally, I had to visualize the seed, like a tiny seed. And what I did was, I took, I remember I took some lemon, I cut it up in half. I took the seed of the lemon, and I imagined all those seeds and those souls by dropping it. But then I told them, I whispered in their ears, imagine your own outcome. Save yourself. And some of them, they couldn't wake up. So I had to scream at them. Like, my mouth wasn't moving. My body wasn't moving. I was just staying still. And I was in, like, my goddess form. And I had the bow and arrow and the sword and stuff. So I guess I was kind of like Ishtar. So I look like her. But people don't really know what she looks like in this reincarnation because we hide ourselves. It's just we have to protect our energy because there's a lot of witches and warlocks in New York, and it's like I better be careful. I don't go around saying, "Oh my God," I'm like I know of source, but I'll teach about, or I'll say, or I'll drop some knowledge. Like you can't do that shit here in New York. Like no, you can't. Don't do that shit. Like I seen what's gonna happen if I do, so I'm like, all right. So, yeah. So when I was in like my goddess form, I was like whispering in their ear, telling them what they need to do, showing them their paths, showing them what they need to take, what to grab, and then they start to have motion in the tunnel. I was like, it was a celebration because and then all the other ones because they sound like zombies and then this particular being started to imagine itself its avatar and I was like wait a minute and I started seeing them in real life and then I walked by I was like wait a minute don't I know you how are you here in New York or how are you here in this particular point in time we and then we started talking, and then it's like, all right, we subconsciously remember. We been known each other before. I was like, yeah, I know you knew me before. When I pass by certain people, I get a bad smell from them, even though they are well dressed. Yes, you can smell energy. You're smelling the realm that they come from. And smells, you can get information for what they done. You can see their past in this life or beyond that time and space. But that's why it's important to carry certain crystals and do some research on what crystals that are going to help protect you. But I didn't realize the smell until like I want to say since I was like 11 years old, when I realized certain people had a file like a bad smell. And one of my family members, they smell demonic, and I could never really truly be around them, but I'll be around them just to protect my energy and theirs. Because they don't consciously know, they're not aware that there's something inside of them. But I try my best to. It's uncomfortable for me to talk about it, but I try my best to protect them because one, they didn't choose to be that way. I mean, everybody has a choice, yes, but I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt why that demonic spirit is there. They allowed it in. They kept it in for a long time. And they kept feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. Because when you feed these demons, how are you feeding them? By alcohol. Alcohol is like a form of spirit. What's the name of Alku? You know, the spirit of Alku. So it's like that's who I've been kept dealing with. And then these certain spirits can actually hop into other people around you. That is a real thing. You're not crazy when you are having the same type of repeated lesson and when you already ascended, but you can hear the spirit behind the other spirit trying to see if you truly learned. And it's like it's a trickster. It will like trick you and then it'll make you think that haha, you didn't get out of there, you bitch. But then, you know, you have to be the bigger spirit to get out of it. And it's by tricking the trickster, by becoming its tricks or doing what it thinks it wants you to do by you imagining the outcome. Don't let the trickster imagine your outcome because you might not like what it's going to manifest for you. Not everything is good and not everything is bad. So remember what is good and what is bad. Have a true look of what is good and what is bad. But yeah, be careful out there. It is a spiritual warfare. There are beings and spirits and people and places and things that wants you and needs you. Be careful what you desire and what you attract. Rethink about it. Reprogram your subconscious every day. Meditate. Do affirmation. Do a lot of shadow work. It's very important for your afterlife and in this life. Would you rather have hell here or would you rather have heaven in the afterlife? Or vice versa, what you want to do. Don't wait till life gets harder so that you can be happy. Be happy now so that when life gets harder, you're already happy. You can overcome certain things. You can not just certain things. You can overcome everything that you imagine with the power of your mind and what is inside of your heart because you're pure. Don't do don't be a trend so that everybody can follow you. Like, do something different, is what I'm trying to say. Don't be like everybody else. And don't always feel like you need to be accepted or have validation of acceptance. How do you accept yourself today and moving forward? Because how you start is how you finish. And Hugh Reeves says that a lot. If you have not seen his channel, check out his channel, Q Reeves. and he's really good at what he teaches, and he practices what he teach. Sometimes I'd be like, okay, you know what I mean? But then I get it. A hard ass make a wait, a hard head makes a soft ass type of thing, and sometimes you have to like learn the hard way to get to good. Yeah. But anyway, that's all the downloads I have for right now. I think. Hopefully. Watch how the universe gonna send me more signs. Be like, you didn't say this or that. I'm like, okay, there's always part two. Always. But anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. I'm tired. I have insomnia. This shit is driving me crazy. Cause I'm always in the other world. And I'm like, can I just have one rest? No. Fighting these goddamn demons. Every fucking day. They have no idea what's coming. But on a side note, I'm close to getting my apartment. Just do me a favor. Imagine me in my place now. And I'll do the rest. Well, there's steps to this. I just need one more information. So if you can imagine the letter being here or like sent to me digitally, I'll much appreciate it. Even though I gotta do it. But still, I wanna be in my apartment already. So yeah. I'll catch you guys in the ether. Bye.